In this lecture, we're going to go into more details about the spinal cord gray matter and white matter. We'll discuss more of the functionality of each of those regions. In the spinal cord gray matter, we've introduced the fact that we have a dorsal and a ventral horn, and we've introduced that we have an intermediolateral cell column. So in this slide, what I'd like to point out is, again, we have, if we split the cord, we have our dorsal, which is going to be sensory and sensory relays, our ventral, which is motor and motor relays, and the intermediate zone, which lives right in this region. This is the region of the spinal cord. It's kind of in between the dorsal and ventral, and it has both motor and sensory capability, or motor and sensory modalities, but it's geared towards your autonomic nervous system or your hollow organs. So sensation from the hollow organs is going to relay here before it goes to the brain, and motor information for this hollow organs is going to relay here before it goes out to the periphery. And here in our real section of the spinal cord that's obviously magnified, we can see just a little bit of that intermediate zone, and then we can see our dorsal horn and our ventral horn. So the gray matter of the spinal cord, the dorsal aspect, the dorsal horn, as I've mentioned, is a sensory relay. We name all of the things within this zone as dorsal. They're all dorsal somethings. So we have information is coming in from the periphery. So there's nerve endings out here, right? Sensory information is coming in through the spinal nerve, and its cell body lives here in the dorsal root ganglion. So this is what the dorsal root ganglion is, where all of your primary sensory neurons are located. This is its peripheral process, which is picking up information from the periphery, obviously. And then this is its central process. So it goes through the dorsal root, into a dorsal rootlet, and then into the dorsal horn. So dorsal root ganglion, dorsal root, which is kind of a solid structure here, and then the dorsal rootlets here. All of this is sensory. In the dorsal horn, there are neurons are going to be relays, sensory relays for pain, gross touch, temperature, and some of your visceral sensations. So pain and gross touch are going to synapse on little neurons here in the gray matter, and we're going to talk a lot more about this in the sensory systems lectures. But for now, I want you to know that there are neurons that will receive information from these dorsal root ganglion neurons, and then these are the neurons that are going to relay it to the brain. And then in this region are the little neurons that are going to relay primary sensory information from the viscera. In the next section, we'll talk about the ventral horn and how it communicates with the periphery and with the central nervous system.